Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am so glad that we're here together, and indeed, happy Friday. You know when the dance is back, the jig is back in the house. It is a Friday. I hope that you are having fun wherever you are. I hope that you are well. Yes, indeed, we know that life is full of ups and downs, but I hope that you have more ups than downs indeed. Thank you so much for joining in today, and I am glad that we're here. We have a special guest today joining us on Story Time, and as you've seen from the intro, yes, Justin Stephen Ford is here with us with his brand new book, I See Me, coming up, joining us here on Story Time in conversation and, of course, reading to us. Thank you so much for being here, and I am glad that you're here. Please, as always, remember to leave us a message. Let us know you were here so we can say hi to you, but also let us know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you. Always a pleasure to be here with you. Never take it for granted. Hugs to each and every one of you. I appreciate you all, and indeed, thank you so much. Please remember, check in on your neighbor, check in on somebody. A little hello can go a long way. Thank you for being here with us. Our book is coming right up. Thank you for being here. But as always, please let us know where you are. And remember, too, that you can catch Storytime live 7 a.m. Pacific time right here on our Facebook and YouTube. But also you can find us through storytimewithmrlamada.com, and you can also join us at 11 a.m. Pacific time. But remember, today is special. We have our guest, but also it is a double header. What does that mean? Well, we'll be back live again at 11, and this time we'll also be looking at Hats of Faith. But that is an 11 o'clock discussion. So join us then at 11 a.m. Pacific time for that one. But for now, please join me in welcoming our guests to Story Time. And then we'll be checking in to see who else is with us this morning. So welcome to Story Time, Justin Ford. Thank you for being here.
How's it going? Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Yes. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. You got the memo with the shirt. That is great,
right,
man.
Right?
Yeah.
Great mind.
Hello, everyone out there. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Justin. And just, before we get into conversation too, just a big good morning to you, Sarah and Nathan out in cool Illinois. Thank you so much for joining in. And of course, good morning to you and happy Friday to all our Storytime friends. You say, well, happy Friday to you too. Wishing all a happy and restful weekend. Thank you. Couldn't ask for more. Always a great way to start the day. Thank you for sending us those positive vibes. So much appreciated. Good morning to you. How are you doing today? To Olaolu Ogunyemi, Sneeds Ferry, North Carolina with Eniola. How are you doing? I love that name. I think I love that name even better than Olaolu. Thank you so much for joining in. Captain, good to see you here, my brother. And of course, cannot wait to see you on Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. And Amanda West, I'm not forgetting you too. Good morning to you as well. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning to you, Chad and Auntie Pam. Oh, Braylon, we miss you. Sending you hugs and hopefully see you again here on Monday. It's a chilly, sunny day from Nakitosh, Louisiana. Thank you so much. As you know, today we do have a special guest with us. Justin, do you want to take a try at saying good morning to the next person?
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Okay, so we have Tara. Good morning, Tara. We have Clara and Aaron. Clara is home from school today. So both children. Well, thank you for joining us while you guys are at home. What better way to spend a little time with you guys? So good morning, Clara and Aaron. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Awesome. And I love that it's sunny. It's warm and sunny out in Massachusetts today. I know it's been, you mentioned it's been chilly, Clara. So good to see you here. Ola Olu, thank you so much for joining in. But Justin, I know that we're here celebrating your book, celebrating this book. But, we'll come back and talk some more about it. But before you're reading, where are you joining us from? And how long has this been in the works?
Oh, great question. So thank you. This is my debut interview. So I haven't talked to anyone yet. So I'm glad to have everyone in the comments. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much, guys. So the book, I See Me. So first off, I'm in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. So right now it's probably about 90 degrees, but it'll be about 110 degrees in a couple hours. And it's October and we're still.
Wow. I have a high of 77 today.
Oh, I'm jealous. I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous. But the book, I See Me, it's been probably about a year and a half in the making. It has. Wow. And so it's one of those things where it started as one story. The story that I'm going to read for you guys today is not the story I wrote a year ago. It definitely changed a little bit. Good morning from Soraya.
Soraya, yes, she's right here in Oakland too. Yep.
Nice. Very nice. Thanks for joining, Sharon. But yeah, so the story I'm reading today is not the story that I wrote a year ago, but it's been a wonderful process. I've got to meet so many cool people like yourself, and it's just been fun. It became my passion project during the pandemic, and I'm glad to be here to read it to you guys today.
Awesome. Sure. No, cannot wait for you to read, but also cannot wait to hear some bits about that process. Somebody out there listening will benefit from that. And of course, it's just learning about the journey and realizing too, you've self-published this one. So curious to see how that journey has been. Well, thank you for being here. It's all yours. You're going to be reading to us, and I'll join you after on the other side. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, welcome, everyone. Thank you for taking your time to join me. So today, I have a question for you. Have you ever wondered what makes you special? Could it be your skin? Could it be your smile? Could it be maybe the jokes you tell? Well, let's find out exactly what makes you special with my brand new picture book entitled, can you see that there? A little shine. I See Me. All right, let's get started. Look at this. Ooh. These are the characters you're about to meet. Meet 6-year-old Chance Jackson. Chance is a very kind and curious kid with a big heart full of love. Chance has 3 amazingly cool brothers. They are all very special, but for different reasons. Jaden can play any sport he puts his mind to. Liam sings with a beautiful voice and has spectacular dance moves. His oldest brother is Noah. When he is so smart, he always is creating new inventions. When he is older, he wants to be a scientist. So can you see Jaden there? Can you see his brothers? That's Chance and his 3 cool brothers. Okay. Unlike his talented brothers, Chance doesn't know what makes him special. They can play sports, they can sing, and he wants to be a scientist. Have you ever wanted to be a scientist? So he decides to go on a great adventure to find out what makes him special, just like his brothers. He puts on his smile of determination, and the great adventure begins. Are you ready for an adventure? I'm ready. First, he goes to the zoo and notices how confidently the peacocks strut around with their huge tails. Never before has he seen something so different before. So Chance runs over to the peacock and asks, Peacock, Peacock, you are so pretty. What makes you special? The peacock proudly replies, I'm special because of my beautiful feathers with colors of every kind. A lot of colors. But Chance doesn't have any feathers. He has dark brown skin. You see, they're different. They're both beautiful, but they're different. Next to the zoo is a large body of water called an ocean. Chance notices how big the ocean is and has never seen something so different. And if you notice, there's a fun fact here. It says our oceans cover more than 70% of the Earth's surface. Did you know that? Chance runs over to the ocean and asks, Ocean, ocean, you are so blue. What makes you special? The ocean proudly replies, I'm special because my waves are so strong and powerful, reaching as far as the eye can see. Look at the ocean. But when Chance looks at himself, he's far from strong or powerful. So he's strong, but not quite as strong as the ocean. Are you strong like the ocean? Then Chance smells a lovely aroma in the air. He sniffs and he sniffs until he finds the aroma in a beautiful lily flower. He has never smelled something so different before. So these are lilies. And if you notice, there's a fun fact. It says lilies have large petals that can be white, yellow, orange, red, or even pink in color. And sometimes they can have freckles. Do you have freckles? Chance runs over to the lily and asks, Lily, Lily, you smell so beautiful. What makes you special? The lily says, I'm special for my big, sweet smelling lily petals. Ooh. Chance does not have big petals like the lily, just big ears. I have big ears too. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind blows and knocks Chance to the ground. When he looks up, he sees the big white clouds in the sun, which brighten the entire sky. Chance has never noticed how fluffy the clouds are and how bright the sun is. So, look, he's looking up. Can you see that? Fun fact time. Did you know that clouds can contain millions of tons of water? And it takes 8 minutes for light to reach Earth from the sun. Chance runs over to the cloud and sun and asks, Cloud and sun, what makes you special? The cloud replies, I'm so fluffy, puffy, and soft, just like a big, cozy cloud. And then the sun says, my bright golden warm rays of light can shine so bright, making everyone happy when they are sad. Do you see the clouds and the sun? Yeah, pretty. But when Chance looks at his hair, it is far from fluffy and puffy, and his smile isn't really a warm ray of light. That doesn't quite look like Chance anymore, does it? Okay. After a long day of adventure, Chance heads home to his grandmother, Granny B. Hey, Chance, my handsome grandbaby, what's wrong? Asks Granny B. Chance replies, I know I'm a little different from my brothers, Liam, Jaden, and Noah, but I just want to know what makes me special. Chance then tells Granny B all about the wonderful things he had discovered on his adventure. Granny B realizes Chance is sad because he does not feel special like all the different yet beautiful things he had just seen. Granny B gently wipes away the tears from Chance's eyes, takes his hand, and says, I know just the thing that will make you special. You see? He's talking to Granny B. Now, how is Granny B going to show Chance he's special? Let's find out. Granny B first takes Chance to Jaden's room. To his surprise, the first thing he sees are pictures that he had drawn all over Jaden's wall. I love the way you draw, CJ. I've always wanted to be able to draw beautiful pictures just like you. It's one thing that makes you special, says Jaden. You see his pictures all on the wall? He can draw better than me. That's for sure. Liam's room was right next door. To his surprise, Chance sees a plate of cookies and crumbs. I love the delicious cookies and pies you make with Granny B. I can tell you bake these with love, and that makes you very special, says Liam. Let's see, can you see the cookies and pies down there? His mouth is full. He's been eating. That's what I do. Do you like cookies? I love pie. Lastly, Granny B takes Chance to Noah's room. To his surprise, he is laughing uncontrollably. Oh, Chance, don't mind me. Whenever I remember the funny jokes you tell, I just burst out laughing. You can always make me laugh, even when I'm down, and that is very special. Are you laughing? Very awesome. Chance could not believe that his older brothers thought that his drawings, cookies, and jokes were special. I was just being me, Chance thinks to himself. At that moment, Chance realized that everything he was searching for was a part of him the entire time, and that's what makes him special. Look at that. It was a part of him, was inside of him the whole time. He was just being himself. See if I can turn this page. Granny B hugs Chance and says, you have beautiful brown skin, much like the peacock's feathers. A strong, beating, and courageous, brave heart, just like the ocean's waves. Precious ears for listening and learning. Thick, kinky, curly hair that sometimes hides those kind eyes. And a smile that warms your granny's heart every day. All of these things are different, yet special just the way they are. Just like you are special and perfectly made just the way that you are. Have you figured out what makes you special yet? I think I know. After hearing this and seeing how much his family loves him, Chance loves and cares for him, Chance is bursting with joy. What's the big smile for? Asked his family. Because now I see me, perfect just the way I am. And there he is with his family, and he's looking in the mirror and he sees himself, and he's like, hey, I'm special just the way I am. And that is I see me.
Oh, Justin, thank you so
Thank
much. And
you.
now the song, Just the Way You Are.
Yeah, Bruno Mars. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Can we clip that part out though?
No, I'll join along. That was that. We can stop the show now. That was great.
Oh, thank you so much. Just before we go in, Amanda there says, I love hearing educators talk about the writing and editing process. That's something as a teacher I've really tried to impress upon my students and kids. Writing for an audience means the drafts have to change as the writing process continues. Thank you for discussing how the first draft was so different than the final draft. So just there from the get-go. Thank you, Amanda. And yeah, so true. And because I want to come back to that too and just think like, what have been some of your inspirations? And, like at what point, do you think, can you go back to and think, well, I actually started writing early? Because I know we write in school most of the time, but I think there must have been something else that was happening that you felt. So we'll come back to that one, and then all I would just say is, great job. I love the message and the fun facts. Yeah, absolutely love that. So yeah, going back to that, what have been some of your inspirations?
Oh my goodness. My inspirations, I'm inspired by life, really, and the things around me. So if you notice in the book, there's nature, a mother nature component and element. I'm a person that loves hiking. I love outdoors. I love things like that. So my book was really inspired by friends and family, and the characters are all kind of loosely based off people that I know. Chance and his grandmother is really based off my relationship with my grandmother. She's my best friend. So I'm inspired by life, really. So, I can look at the sun and the clouds, and I was like, there's a story here. And so that's kind of how it started to evolve. So really, I'm a storyteller by nature. So music is really one of my first passions. And, if you listen to songs, they're stories. And so there's nothing different with this. So yeah, so I pull from everything. So you know how sometimes people write songs about different things? I tell stories about different things now. So yeah.
Love it. And just more and more too coming in from Pamela and saying, oh, the beautiful theme in this book. Love the way the family shows the MC his unique role and place in his family.
Yes. Yes.
I'm
inspired by your voice, man. I'm inspired. Thank you, Pamela.
Pamela Courtney, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, love you. Thank you. Yeah, so just coming back, to there's a theme there. How did you choose? How did you land on this? You mentioned that there's a story out there to be told in all these things that inspire you, but also like everybody has a story out there. But how do you decide to then put that into a book, bring it out?
It's one of those things where the idea, I think no matter what age you are, we might not ask ourselves what makes us special, but in some way we have to find out, what am I good at? What makes me special? What makes me different from everyone else?
Yeah.
And that's a story, like I said, it doesn't matter the age that you are. So I was going through a time during the pandemic. I tell people, I think at some point during the pandemic, I think we were all tested, whether it be physically, mentally, or spiritually. I was tested by all three things during the pandemic. And so, it was kind of a self-discovery moment. You have a lot of time to yourself. There was a lot of isolation. And, I think I questioned myself a lot. What does make me special? I'm 30 years old. What am I good at? What do I like? And so around that same time that I'm having these thoughts, I have to buy a book. I have to buy a book, go into a bookstore that we all know. And I don't see any books with kids that look like me or my family or a lot of my friends. And I remember driving home that day, having a conversation with a friend, and he was like, well, you should write a book. And, when someone says that, you don't think
that's a good friend.
Yeah, great friend, right? Great friend. He is a great friend. And you don't think necessarily you can write a book. That whole process, you're like, I can't write a book. So I get home that day. I'm giving you the very long version of the story, guys. So I get home that day, and this idea just comes to me around the things that had kind of been heavy on my heart and on my mind about self-identity, what makes you special, how do you show up in the world. And I wanted children to know what makes them special. And I wanted it to see them with characters that look like them. And for other children that may not look like these characters can still learn, others' experiences and how it feels to be like someone that does not necessarily look like you. So I think it's a diverse book for everyone. But I wrote down, the story came out, it all poured out of my mind in one day.
Oh, so wow.
The idea for the story. So we were talking about the writing process. So I had this on paper, walked away from it. I was like, oh, this was fun, to doodle, walk away from it. About 2 weeks later, I just felt this story kept coming back up. And I sat down, looked at it, tweaked the character's name. Small change, not a big change. A couple weeks later, came back, took out a character and added a new character. Small change. And then before you know it, just over the next year, Chance didn't start off with a family.
Wow.
Chance had a it was just his grandmother, but the three brothers came maybe 6 months later from the initial draft, and I just kept including different things.
Yeah.
Play with Mother Nature, play with elements of what does make him special, what makes him unique. And so growing up, my grandmother, we used to bake in the kitchen all the time. And
Yeah.
so in the book where he's baking cookies and pies, that was the relationship from my grandmother and I, because we would do that all the time. So
Yeah.
it was inspired by real life and it evolved over time, but that's kind of the short of the story, if that makes sense.
No, it does, and I appreciate that. And Pamela Courtney too again just says, "I do love the fiction books, non-fiction led text. So much conversation springs from the pages of your book." And I think I'm sure that was one of the things that was on your mind as you were writing, to ignite conversations, to spark conversations. So, what are some of those like direct conversations that you hope can arise from I See Me?
Absolutely. I want the conversations to start at a very young age about, what does make you special? What are you good at? And there might be something, say you sing and your voice is maybe different or unique, or say you can do cartwheels, or say you can, you have a skill or ability. That's what makes you special. And I think a lot of times people can make us feel like we're not special because that's different from maybe what they're special at, And so I want everybody to understand you're especially unique for the things that you can do, for your abilities, for your family, maybe where you're from, maybe where you live, or the things that you can do or say, or maybe you can be kind to someone else, and that can make you special. And so actually on the last page of the book, let's see, there is this cool page, if I can separate them, right here, and it says, "What makes you special?" So that's me. Don't look at me. But that's what makes you special. And they'll say, "My name is," so I'll say Justin Ford.
Oh, let me just do this so we can have
Oh,
you
perfect.
front, and then one more tweak. There we go.
Boom. There we go. Perfect. So it's the "What makes you special" kind of activity page. So you read the book, Chance knows what makes him special, and now we can see what makes you special. So you'll say, "My name is Justin. I am special because I can, because I have, and because I like." And there's 5 spaces for each one of those, because at the end of the book, I want you to be able to realize what makes you special. And you can show your friends what makes you special. And you can look at this every day and remind yourself, I'm special because I can, I'm special because I have, I'm special because I like. And I think it's a very good affirmation, which is a nice thing that you tell yourself to remind yourself of what makes you awesomely you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that. Thank you. And then just also Pamela Courtney just trying to get in her question there before I move on to the next thing I had. But did you try traditional publishing initially, and after subbing and decided self-publishing, or how was that process? How did that happen?
That's a great question. So my friend asked me, "How do you write a book? You should write a book." No clue. So I started to do a lot of research about the publishing process, and you very quickly find about non-publishing versus traditional. I mean, self-publishing versus traditional publishing. So of course, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, let's do traditional publishing." Your big 5 publishing houses will be in all these stores, and then you realize the process that takes. So I did go through the process of trying to find what's called a literary agent. So that's kind of the person that believes in your story and will take it to these bigger publishing houses. I submitted about 80 letters to 80 different literary agents, and we had some interest, but just no one believed in my story per se. And so that was the first initial, maybe the word is rejection, or the first initial roadblock I think that I experienced, because I like the story. I think the story is great because I wrote it. And then for 80 people to tell you, I don't believe it. I don't see your vision. So the first thing I had to realize is, I believe that this story needs to be told, and I believe that this story can make a change. So that was the first thing. I kind of believed in the story that I had, and I felt like kids need to see themselves represented. That was my driving, motivating factor. And then secondly, I'm kind of a stubborn person, and I don't know it's not really an option for me. So then I started to look at the self-publishing route and realize that A, I can have more creative control. B, I can get the book out quicker to the masses. I think when you go through a traditional publishing route, it can take years. They can change your story, and they have more control kind of over the creative process. And as writers, I think I don't want my story changed at all. So so at the self-publishing route had a lot more benefits to me. It was quicker. I could do everything myself. Now, with that being said, it takes a lot more work on the self-publishing side because I had to learn about illustration. I can draw. I don't have it here, but I can draw an amazing stick figure. But that's it. The only thing I can draw is a stick figure. So I had to find, yes, reputation matters, and that's the only thing. Yeah, Olu. Yeah, that is. Sorry if I messed your name up, man. But that is the only thing that I kept thinking. I was like, this has to be done. This has to be done. So I had to find an illustrator. I had to find a editor. I had to find a graphic designer. I had to find another editor, and then another editor. Yeah, So it was definitely a process. But I found during that process, I just really enjoyed the whole thing.
No,
I worked.
No, and I was going to say too, I'm like, I like too that I still think I still mess up all those things because when I hear him say it, I'm like, yeah, I know I'm not saying it like you are, but hey. I appreciate it for sure. But I had what I was thinking too, like first of all, why the name Chance? Like that was something that I was thinking about too. And then I know, now you publish this book, it's out there, but I know that you have a side hustle too. So what's that side hustle?
I do. Okay. So Chance, Chance is a name that sometimes things just pop in my head and I can't explain it, but Chance is a name that just came out right away. Oh, you have.
I'm not giving you a pass here.
Chance just popped in my head, and I think it was more so take a chance. It was the kind of the theme that kept popping out in my head. Take a chance to write the book. Take a chance on yourself. Take a chance in life is kind of the meaning behind Chance's name. So take a chance on yourself. Believe in yourself. Chance did. Now he knows what makes him special. So
that's awesome. I love that.
Now, as far as the side hustle, if you notice in the back, it's called Just in Time for Story Time. So I've been inspired by the very channel, the very inspiring Mr. LaMotta, and I kind of decided, there's not a lot of us in spaces where we're speaking to children, especially as young men of color. And so that's why I also really wanted to thank you again, Mr. LaMotta, for the work that you're doing, because it's so awesome. But yeah, so I went on YouTube as I was going through this process, and I was like, I want representation matters. Representation matters in literacy, but how can we get that? How can we expand that? And then the YouTube space and the storytelling space kind of spoke to me. I love reading stories as much as I like writing stories and animated voices and different things like that. So I said, why don't we put that on a show and bring it to everybody? So Just in Time for Story Time is launching the end of October, early November, but it's up live now, so you can subscribe, get ready for some fun content. We're going to do stories just like this. We will be doing fun facts, as you noticed, that are in the book. Sing-alongs. I probably can't sing this early, but we'll do some sing-alongs for sure. Positive affirmations so that you can know what makes you special. So much more stuff. So Just in Time for Story Time. If you head over to YouTube now and subscribe, you'll know when the episodes are going to come out. So I'm nervous, but I'm excited about that. That's a whole nother venture. So yeah.
I'm excited for it, and I might know some people in Snids Ferry that might have a few books that could be great for that story time. So
Over.
talk to me nicely.
Okay, I will. You know?
No, I love it. And I know too that, because you have that project going, you've been working on your book this time, but also too, how do you balance that with your life and work and everything else that you do? So, like, where do you find that time? How do you find that balance?
Mm-hmm. So professionally, my professional job, 9 to 5, I work in clinical research. So we do oncology or cancer trials and Alzheimer's research. So the interesting thing about that job is it's very point A to point B. It's not really, you don't have a creative license in that job. So the thing is, I'll do my job, but this has become a passion project for me. So when you enjoy something you do, which I hadn't really experienced before this process, many times in my life, but when you enjoy something you do, it's not work for me. So it's one of those things. I'll get off work and I break it up. I don't take huge chunks of things to do at one time. I mean, I might work on a little piece here, step away, personal life, work on a little piece here. Like I said, the story evolved over a year. It just wasn't like, because it can become a process where you feel, I got to get this done. I have to get this done. I have to get this done. And then you kind of overwhelm yourself. So I think the biggest tip for me that helped was kind of to break it up, take small daily assignments or weekly goals that you can work towards. So there was processes where I said, okay, so this week I need to edit the book. And then that week we just focused on editing the book. Or this week we need to get 2 spreads or 3 spreads done working with my illustrator. And by doing that way, this big goal kind of seemed attainable.
I like that, because that was going to be my questions too. Is like, what have been some of some revelations from this process? But it sounds like you're mentioning some of them right there. Okay, now it's make or break time.
No,
this is no high stakes here.
Okay.
You mentioned pie, and you said you love pie.
Oh my!
The real question is, what kind of pie? Because this is it. Wrong answer, and we're done.
Oh no! Okay, hang in there with me, guys. So I don't know if this is considered pie per se, but I love like peach cobbler. So is that considered pie-ish? Pie-esque?
Ooh, that's a question I think for everybody else that is here.
Let us know.
But I like it enough that I will go with that. I will go with that. Pecan is the one for me. Like,
but second pecan. Okay.
Oh yes, but yeah. Peach cobbler, I will.
Yes, pecan. But a second close would be pumpkin. I mean, it is fall season coming up. Pumpkin is pretty great. My grandmother made a pretty mean pumpkin pie. So, with the cinnamon and the nutmeg and the whipped cream. It's can I have pie at 8:00 in the morning? Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay. No, absolutely. You made me think of something too as you were talking, because I see your shirt has all those amazing humans on there. Love it. And I was just thinking too, like, I think one of the things you had said is, like, you bring yourself to your work, and you're saying, like, it's hard to change that story sometimes when you have it. And so just wondered too, is like, I think Maya Angelou mentions at one point, is like, if you can be in a place where you're just you, like you want to come back where you're just you, and basically no judgment. And I feel like it's so wonderful that you're carrying such important figures with you today, and just reminded me of that as you were talking. But also another thing that I had too was, where now from here? Are we expecting more? Is there more, like more? I see me 2.0. What's happening? What's up right? Yeah.
Well, absolutely. It's one of those things, again, when you start this journey, you might not know where it takes you. So one thing for me is I'm very much a person that's like, okay, I have to know what's happening, what's happening next. But this process has really taught me just to go with the flow, enjoy it. When you're teaching others and helping others to find out, critical things about themselves, you can't necessarily plan where that's going to take you. You kind of got to grow with it. So I've been doing that, but just in time for story time is going to be so much fun. So I encourage everyone to, what did I say? Like, click, share, subscribe, subscribe. Because I'm your big brother, Jay. Big brother Jay. here. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I do have a second book that is in those early stages, like this one was. So the book that I'm writing today probably won't be the book that you get a
Right.
year from now or 6 months from now, but we're working on another book. And just, I really want to get out there. I'm so glad to be here to connect with creatives and other like-minded individuals so that we can really let change the world. I mean, my I say it, change the world one book at a time. And
Right.
so
I
that's
love that.
really the goal that we're trying to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I love that. I love that. And also too, like I know that, you mentioned Chance there was first on their own, just with grandma, and then family comes in. So, for me, it kind of tells me that you're, like there's a family
Mhm.
love there,
Mhm.
orientation there. And so just wondering too, like, um who are the supports for you during this journey in life, and just and how important is that, how important is community for you?
Community is, I think, the number one thing. I think first you have to believe in yourself, but I think community can also pour into you and really push you to really accomplishing your goals. I think I have a very good support system when it comes to friends. My grandmother, my granny B, is the most supportive that you ever meet. So she's like, write a book, do it, like that. But I have several friends and family and God. I'm a believer in God and different things
Mm,
like that that push me further. But that support system can really motivate you, especially on this self-publishing journey. You have days where you're like, what have I done? Why did I think I could do this? What am I? Who am I to do this? And that's when your support system and your community really kicks in, and they're just
yeah.
like, "Oh, we need this." Like, oh, said representation matters. Kids need this. It's bigger than us, and I think in this process, I realized this is so much bigger than me. It's bigger than you, and it's got to be done. So
Yeah.
who better than us to do it? You
Yeah.
know.
No, you've done it. You're here. You produced, and also, we look forward to more that you'll be doing. We look forward to just in time story time. I cannot wait for that one. And also, like, just thank you for being your authentic self, for being here and putting yourself out there, and your work. And I hope that everybody that is tuning in, please, like, share with your friends, let them know about story time, and of course let them know too about this wonderful book, I See Me, that is out now. So yeah, find it where you find books. And one of the things too, I know with self-publishing, sometimes it can be hard to get the book into libraries and spaces, but talk to your librarians, talk to the people, your church leaders, your different people that can help bring this book into all those wonderful spaces, so that we can spark conversation and indeed move forward with these conversations, because there's a lot of things, there's a lot that sparks in there. Like Pamela Courtney, I think, put it so rightly in the message there, saying, I think it was, let me see, sparking many conversations. Yeah, I love this part. It says, I love the fiction books, non-fiction led text. So much conversation springs from the pages of your book. And I think that's just powerful, and that's what needs to happen. It is, some of these things are hard to talk about, but they need to happen. Those conversations need to happen. And I hope that, we work together and make sure that these books are shared. Books are in every space, and continue to encourage our little ones to share. And one thing I found too, as adults, we look at children's books sometimes like, oh, it's kids' books, but they're books for us. They're books for all of us. And there's inspiration, there's lessons in there that you'd be like, oh my goodness,
Let
that's
me just say,
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, you did.
I challenge adults. That what makes you special page. I challenge everyone to do it. And I have my friends do it. I have my parents do it, my grandmother do it. Oh, excuse me. And it can be a struggle. I mean, this is different. Wasn't just 6, 8-year-olds. We had 30-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 80-year-olds. And everyone thinks, I don't think I've met one person who can just feel that out, and just
Right.
know everyone has to think. And so that just shows me that it's just a constant lesson, something that we constantly have to remind ourselves is why, what am I good at? What is my purpose? What
Yeah.
can I do? And how can I change the world? Awesome.
Oh, and I think on that note, it's a great wrap from you. Thank you so much for being here. No, absolutely appreciate you and all the other creatives out there too that are continuing to shine light, continuing to be in these spaces and being wonderful. Thank you so much to this wonderful community here today, supporting and being here with Justin this morning and celebrating I See Me. And I hope that as you're out there, you continue to see yourselves and indeed remember, see somebody too. Just a little hello can go a long way. Thank you so much for being here on Storytime. And just one more time, Amanda West, thank you for being here. And of course, Sarah and Nathan, a big thank you to you. I hope that you have a wonderful day out there in cool Illinois today. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, you're wishing everybody a happy and restful weekend. Well, we send that right back to you too. Thank you so much. Ola Olu Ogunyemi, thank you so much for being here, my brother. And of course, it's all love, all love. Thank you so much for joining in. And Ola, double love for you. Ola, you get one love. Eniola, double love, sweetheart. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. Appreciate you all, and I hope that you have a lovely time and cannot wait for our hangout on Saturday. Thank you so much. And of course, Pamela Courtney, you know how much I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Braylon and Chad, we know Braylon was out today, sending you love still. Chad, appreciate you, young man, and I'm glad that we're here together and got to enjoy story time. And thank you, Tara McNamara, Clara, thank you for being here. Good to see you on the live today. Thank you, I appreciate you. And of course, Erin, sending you love, and I hope that you have a lovely day today, warm and sunny out there in Massachusetts. Thank you, Soraya, right here in Oakland. Much love. Thank you for being here. I hope that you have a wonderful Friday at school, a wonderful day indeed. Thank you for being here on Storytime. To all that are joining in, thank you for joining us on this live. But remember, today is Double Header Friday. So don't forget, we will be having more story time later on. So you can join us for Hats of Faith at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Don't forget, join us. Find us where we'll be, and you can get to enjoy story time with us today. Thank you for being here, and of course, we'll see you later on. And of course, if you want to find story time, remember, you can find story time live here, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Pacific time, and of course, at your convenience, anytime you want. We're here in the archives at Storytime with Mr. Limada, but also at storytimewithmrlimada.com. Thank you for being here. Thank you to you, Justin. Wonderful creator. Thank you. And I'll catch you on the other side. Thank you for being here with us on Storytime. Oh, everybody joining in. That was Justin Stephen Ford with his new book, I See Me. Thank you so much for joining in. And of course, I'll see you again later today, actually. I'll see you later today for the double header, more story time. And then, of course, we'll see you after that on Monday. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope that you have a lovely, lovely Friday. Thank you for joining in. And yes, this has been story time for this week. Amazing stories. Go back and check them out. But remember, to join us later on for this one, Hats of Faith, as we celebrate it turning 5 today. Yes, it's been 5 years of Hearts of Faith. Thank you so much for joining in. And this has been Storytime. Bye-bye.
Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh. brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing about where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing.